So I'm reviewing the first Star Wars film called Star Wars. Now, over the years, it's called Star Wars: A New Hope. Um, but it's in Star Wars. I don't. And it was originally just called Star Wars, and then somewhere down the line, by the time the trilogy was over, the original trilogy, it was called Star Wars: A New Hope. So, uh, it's about this guy called Luke who becomes friends with this guy called weirdo called Yoda, who's talking to who's I don't know, talking to some sort of aliens and scaring them off to save Luke and Luke's parents get murdered by the time he comes home, and he couldn't save them, so he doesn't see there's no point in returning to home anymore. It's only moving forward. So he moves on in his life and becoming a Jedi Master trained by Yoda. I mean, not Yoda. That's a different movie. That's a sequel. Trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is the original Yoda. Now I just realized that. And Yoda's the knockout version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. A really bad knockout version. That's is actually annoying. See, Obi-Wan Kenobi is actually likable, and is a bit of a quirky character, and weird, and charming. Yoda's just has all those things except the likability, and he's just annoying. Prick, green prick, because he's green and small. But that we don't see that. But we don't see Yoda at all in this one until the sequel called Star Wars. Is it The Empire Strikes Back or The Return of the Jedi? I think it's The Return of the Jedi. And see, by the time the trilogy is over, Luke is still not a full experienced Jedi, but still brings peace to the galaxy. By saving his father from the dark side and bring him out into light by restoring hope into him, and he turns on his which is why he turns on his master. But for some reason, Obi-Wan Kenobi is told that Darth Vader killed his father, Luke's father, and Luke asks, "Why did you lie?" "I told you the truth from a certain point of view, to an extent." So in other words, he was just like trying to take advantage of this to be a dick. This could come across a little wise and more humbling when so and so this doesn't make really sense why Obi-Wan Kenobi lied about his father dying to a certain extent, and just telling him part of the truth. And the first we go back to look at when you look at the when it doesn't even make that much sense as a whole. Just come across as Obi-Wan being kind of arrogant, a bit of a dick. So anyway, Luke becomes best buds by the third act with this guy called Solo. And Leia, who was revealed in the sequel to be his sister. Which makes it odd because in the first one, his sister kisses, sucks faces with her brother by the third act, and because she was so glad that he was alive. Or was that the sequel? Yeah, I think that was a sequel. When we find, which is also one. I think that she kisses him twice in the franchise, in the original franchise, by sucking faces on with him. And that happens in the sequel twice. And he doesn't break the news that he is her brother, her biological brother, and Darth Vader is the biological father until the third installment. So anyway, Obi-Wan gets killed by Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan lets Darth Vader finish him off, and saves the gang. The rest of it by sparing the gang, to spare the gang some time and save his to spare to buy them some time. And he bought them some time, and but before he lets Vader turn him to dust, it's really unclear how he died. We don't see this, like, he doesn't get like saber through himself. He doesn't turn to a human pancake or anything. He just disappears out of thin air after Darth Vader kills him with the lightsaber. And makes this out of nowhere speech saying, "Strike me down and I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine." And so in the third act, while everyone's dying and trying to blow up the Death Star, Emperor Palpatine Death Star, which is also we don't see Emperor Palpatine until the sequel, but we see him on holograms. We don't ever see him in person until the sequel, and but he's Darth Vader is the apprentice of Emperor Palpatine, and Albert Palpatine's the master, and Vader's the Padawan. Anyway, well, everyone's getting completely annihilated by the Death Star, and the rebels are losing. The rebels is that Luke Skywalker's on, and Luke Skywalker, I like him, but he's kind of a bit of a whiny bitch. Comes across a bit of a whiny bitch sometimes. And I like when Solo said he doesn't believe in the Force in the first act, but because of Luke, he starts believing in the Force, and his last words of Luke before he goes off on his adventure is he says, "May the Force be with you." and which is one of my favorite parts in this film. My which is actually my second favorite part in the first Star Wars film ever, and I think my second favorite part is like when is coming up is when everyone's showing all the rebels are dying, and Luke is the only one that can fire the hole into the Death blow up the Death Star, because Obi-Wan Kenobi from beyond the grave is communicating with, and it was like Luke Skywalker through with the Force and telling him what he needs to do, and he says and he says, "May the Force be with you, and I will be with you always." Mm. Mm. So, they say the day this thanks for Luke's father figure, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who becomes sort of like a father figure by the third act to Luke Skywalker. I sometimes get Luke and Anakin Skywalker mixed up, the names. And we got a happy ending by ending the war and ending war and the Leia and Luke and Han all get medals for honorary heroes. Get medals for on being heroes, and that's pretty much the entire movie. It felt like this film was originally supposed to be one film, not a franchise, because of the ending, the whole war in this piece by the third act, after the third act's over, there's like peace and everything, war has kind of ended. So it seems like they kind of rebooted the franchise once the sequel came, it felt like. But it's not too obvious compared to other things when a movie is meant to be one movie instead of a franchise, because that's the original intention. So, yeah. I really like this film. I think I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10, so. And, the sequel for this one gets a 5 out of 10. It's just like The Phantom Menace. And I say that Attack of Clones gets a 9 out of 10. And Revenge of the Sith gets a 10 out of 10. And Force Awakens gets a 9 out of 10. And The Empire Strikes Back, which is I believe is the third one. I say where Luke is all dressed up in black and goes to the dark side, but keeps on fighting for the rights for what's right. And it's kind of hinting at him slowly struggling between the dark side and light side, and so he's kind of unbalanced of where he stands, because there's a darkness growing in him in the third one. After the end of the sequel, that is the Return of the Jedi. So that gets The Empire Strikes Back, which is the third one I say is my favorite a Star Wars film. Yeah, it gets a 10 out of 10. Hope that didn't explain that too fast by rating all those films, but yeah, this film in particular Star Wars, also known as Star Wars A New Hope, gets a 9 out of 10. That's all.